Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, college football fans across the nation and around the world. This is Tim May with the Tim May Show. I'm going to get right into it. This is a kind of a lead in to three different interviews that we had this week with Ryan Day, Julian Sayin, and Lincoln Keenholtz. Because, of course, a starting quarterback battle ensues at Ohio State. It left off in the spring, picked up back up in the start of preseason camp. And as we spoke with Ryan Day, Julian Sayin, and Lincoln Keenholtz, we members of the media earlier this week, it was after day 5, practice 5, really. The day was only half done. Practice 5 of preseason camp, in which there are 25 practices afforded to a team before the season opener, August 30th, hosting Texas. And it's very interesting because this compilation of interviews, I'll just start it with the part where I asked Ryan Day about what it was like for him when he was battling for a starting job. As I said, back at the end of the previous century, it puts a little bit of age on him only because, I think he's a guy that has been, been maybe looked at throughout his career as being a little bit young. I mean, in fact, he's not young at all anymore, as he'll tell you. And he's probably put on 15 years in the last 6. But the bottom line is he was a starting quarterback at the University of New Hampshire, but he had to beat out some people to get that job done. And he speaks of that and what he learned, the lesson he learned, and if he could imbue that lesson on the folks he has coached all through the last many years at Ohio State, the quarterback battles that he has officiated, not the least of which is the latest one, would be telling them what to do. You'll hear what he has to say. It's pretty interesting. And then you've got Julian Sayin addressing all kinds of things. He's not a man of a lot of words, at least when it comes to the interview process. He'll never be mistaken for Will Howard in that regard. Neither will Lincoln Keenholtz, for that matter. But the bottom line is they just give a little insight into how they've developed this friendship in the midst of a battle for as coveted a starting quarterback job as there is in college football anymore, the Ohio State job. And, and that's what Ryan Day spoke of, about how one of the guys he battled with is, basically became one of his best friends. But at the time, you're pretty much looking at yourself. What can I do to get better? What's the other guy not doing, as well as I am, and maybe vice versa. So you're all trying to learn from each other. You're all trying to figure out where you stand. And eventually decision day is coming. And for Ohio State, you would think that Ryan Day, Billy Fessler, the quarterback's coach, and Brian Hartline would like to get to a starting quarterback sooner rather than later, only because of the magnitude of the opener they're facing. And we all know who the Texas starting quarterback is going to be, bar injury. It's going to be Arch Manning. So one of the more ballyhooed first-time starting quarterbacks I've ever heard of. I mean, it's crazy. Of course, Paul Feinbaum's been leading that victory march before it even starts. But we'll see. All of these guys, both of these guys, in Ohio State, understand the magnitude of the job that they're vying for. The guy that followed them, the guy that preceded them, Will Howard, all he did was lead a team back from the depths of that loss to Michigan to a national championship. One of maybe the greatest run in major college football history, that 4-game run to the national championship. I'm trying to think of one that could have been any more compelling than that one. So without further ado, let's get first to my startup with Ryan Day, followed by Julian Sayin, then Lincoln Keenholtz. Here on the Tim May Show.
Right here to the right, Adam King.
Coach, seen the quarterbacks now for a few practices. What are your thoughts? How close are they together, or is it starting to separate?
Yeah, no, they both have had good moments and moments where they're growing. The competition continues, but I will say that I've been pleased with the progress. We're not where we need to be. But if they continue to learn from the mistakes they're making and continue to grow off the plays that they're doing well and moving the offense and taking care of the football, then it's going to go right down to the wire. But ultimately, they got to take care of the football. I'm seeing growth for sure. I'm seeing great attitudes, great work ethic. The practices have been intense, just across the board. I think they're doing a good job of leading right now. Now, where it goes here by the end of the week will be critical. This is kind of, I think, Coach Guerreri said it's moving day, moving week, like it is in the PGA Tour, and it's kind of this week, so it's moving week.
Second row, Joey Kaufman.
What you mentioned, sort of like taking care of the quarterbacks, taking care of the ball. I mean, where I guess are they as far as that goes?
When you take as many reps as you do and you're in practice every day, I can make a cut up of 10 that will look bad, and then I can make a cut up of 30 that look really good. So we're in camp flushing through all those. I think when you get more of a body of work, and then you can start to identify trends as opposed to one-off situations. A guy slips, maybe the protection wasn't good, maybe someone jumped the route on defense. All those things come into play when you're in preseason camp. So, I've seen these now long enough to know that we need to play through it and let these guys get a body of work before we start making hard decisions on that. But again, there's been a lot of positives.
To the right here, Bill Rabinowitz.
Specifically about Julian, what have you liked about him, and what are things that
But yeah, for Julian, what do we like? There's a lot to like. He's very smart, makes quick decisions. The ball comes out of his hand. He's accurate. I think he's got good movement. He's got good quickness. He's got twitch, like in his lower half, but he's got like twitch in his upper half. Remember how quick the ball used to come out of Dwayne's hands? It's similar with Julian. And so, and I think he's building more and more of a command in the field. So those are all reasons to like him, and he's improved. He wants to be good. He knows what it takes. And so those guys they're battling their tail off right now. And I think they're both, first off, they're friends, Julian and Lincoln, and then Tavian's, coming along too, and that room's growing. But I think they're all good for each other in a lot of different ways. Those guys, that has to be the best room in the country. That's the way we look at it. But to answer your question, those are the positives that we see out of Julian.
Back in the previous century, when you were competing for the starting job at New Hampshire, what did you tell yourself every morning when you got up? What got you through, the competition? Because you want to be buddies with the guy, but you also want to beat him. I mean, do you think about what they're thinking about, in these kind of situations?
That's a great question. When I think back on that, and one of my close friends to this day is one of the quarterbacks that was in that room. And you spend so much time together, and the easy thing when you're early on is to kind of hate the guy that you're going against, and then you spend so much time with them, they become your best friends. Yeah. All that being said, you want to play. And when you're in high school, you're used to being the guy, and there's a certain level of comfort that comes with that. And when you're competing with somebody, you're kind of always looking over your shoulder, and that's not a great feeling, but it's a healthy feeling, because you know that you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. You're not allowed to have a bad day, and you certainly can't have bad plays. So when you're going through that competition, it's not a comfortable feeling, but that's okay. That's part of the process.
And we'll wrap it up with Doug Lammer. To the left.
And just go back to that. If I could talk to my former self in that spot, I would say, be the hardest worker, outwork the room, but control the things that you can control. Things like the team, commanding the huddle, commanding the line of scrimmage, your body language, your leadership. Like, those things make a big difference. Probably more than just, being, 12 of 15 during 7-on-7.
Who's that? Who's that other guy, by the way?
Who the guys in the room?
No, the guy you said you're still friends with.
Matt Cassano's his name. Yeah.
Wrap it up with Doug Lammer right here.
Ryan, sometimes you're in a spot where you have an established returning quarterback and there's not much question about who the starter's going to be, and sometimes you're in a spot like this with an open competition. Is there anything that an open competition into August is good for a team, good for a room, that there's positives in that, or is it just something you have to go through when you don't have the number one guy who's established?
Yeah, no, I think there's positives and negatives to everything. I think you can look at it that way. There's positives, I guess, to having an incumbent, but the positives of having a competition is that, every day you got to bring it, and every day, you got to put your best guys out there to figure out who's making progress and who isn't. And guys are always on edge. They're uncomfortable. They're working at it. And I think that's healthy for the entire building.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Every day when you know every throw, every whatever is going to be judged.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about improving every day, and we're trying to make it so every rep is game-like, and even in 7-on-7 and routes on air, we're practicing like we're in the game and visualizing ourselves in the game. So I think it's really important. Coach Day has been honest about that.
Are you watching what Lincoln does as well?
All the quarterbacks, we take tips from each other. We take, what if they made a mistake, how can we, not make that mistake in the future? And when I make mistakes, the other quarterbacks take tips from it too.
How's the local leadership for you coming along from where you maybe were in the spring?
Yeah, I feel like I'm developing in that area. In the weight room, Coach Mick, we've been focusing on that, trying to improve in the local leadership and just as a team, growing our leaders.
Do you have to almost force yourself to do that, or is that something that's comfortable for you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm developing in that role and kind of getting a more comfortable role in that.
Hey, can you just get up to the mic for me just a little bit?
Yeah, I gotcha.
What kind of day did you have today, Julian, in your estimation?
Yeah, I feel like I had some good plays out there, and then there's stuff to clean up. We're going to get back in there and watch the tape, and see what we got to clean up, and then correct it and move on tomorrow.
How eager are you to know the answer to the question that everybody's been asking for 7 months now? Who's the starting quarterback at Ohio State?
Yeah, we're just taking it one day at a time. We have a close room here, and I focus on how I play today, and then just improving, and how I'm going to go practice tomorrow, and just getting my mindset ready for practice tomorrow.
Coach Day was talking about when he had gone through quarterback competitions as a player and kind of hating the guy at first, but then getting really close to him and kind of going through that competition. What's kind of your relationship been like with Lincoln as you guys have entered this competition?
Yeah, I think in the spring we only had 3 guys here in the room. Me, Tavian, and Lincoln. So we were very close as a group, and that's just grown this over the summer, and then into this camp. We're a very close room, and Coach Fessler leads that. So it's a very close room, and we compete every day, but we have each other's backs for sure.
Julian, what do you feel like are the biggest places in which you've grown from where you were this spring to where you are right now?
Yeah, I feel like just developing in my footwork and in my accuracy, my mechanics, and then just developing as a leader is where I wanted to grow, and I feel like I've done some of that this summer.
Do you feel like you get more comfortable out there every day?
Yeah, definitely. It's just all about building confidence. You make a great play, you start to build that confidence. So it's definitely important.
How much are you on social media? Do you pay attention to what's being said?
Oh, I don't really go on social media. In camp, we're just it's all about ball. I text with my close friends and family. But just out here with my teammates and bonding, and it's all about ball.
Have you gotten to know Arch Manning? Do you know him?
I don't know him.
Yeah.
I know he's a great player, and I've seen him play over the years, but I don't know him personally.
And you personally, what do you think you will show people if in fact you get this job that's different? About what you bring to the program, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm just focusing on improving and developing myself, and just being ready if my number is called.
Yeah.
You mentioned sort of like in the spring, it was a small quarterback room, so you and Lincoln got to be close. I don't know if you guys do anything to bond or anything together, like off the.
Yeah, we do quarterback stuff. We go over to Coach Fessler's house and hang out. And it's a very tight room, and we hang out off the field and do a lot of stuff together. So it's good.
Any sort of like hobbies together, or just what do you do when you hang out?
Yeah, we this summer I know we had all the quarterbacks. We were playing pig at Coach Fessler's house, and it was fun.
Coach Day talked about command of the huddle as one of the things he's looking for. How aware of you when you're in the huddle? How aware are you of that, and how do you feel like you've developed that as you've kind of stepped into this role after Will?
Yeah, I feel like I'm developing into that role, and it's I'm trying to improve it in every day this camp, and I feel like I'm just still trying to improve in that area, and I feel like I've done a good job.
Julian, in your leadership.
Is vocal leadership something that comes natural to you, like having that command, or is it something that you have to especially work on?
Yeah, I feel like I'm developing it, but I feel like it has to be authentic. You can't be someone that you're not. So it's there's definitely different styles of leadership, but I feel like I'm developing into that more vocal leadership role.
Julian, as a part of your leadership, it's earning trust with your teammates. How have you continued to build that chemistry and earn that trust with the guys?
Yeah, I think earning trust is just all about consistency. You know, who are you day in and day out, and are you making the routine plays routinely, and you know, are you someone who the offense can count on and who your teammates can count on consistently? And
you've talked about how close you are with Lincoln, but it's a competition. How do you approach that competition going against your close friend?
Yeah, we're competing every day, but we know we have each other's backs, and it's a very close room, like I said before, and you know we have a great room, and you know it's all about the strength of our room, and if we can all be at our best.
We saw you growing with some of the guys in the summer in California. Kind of, what was the process like? Who came up with that idea, and how beneficial was that?
Yeah, some of the guys, they just ended up coming out, and we were able to get routes in, you know, over our little break after spring ball, and it was good to just work on that chemistry.
Was that your idea to have them come out?
I think they just ended up coming out on their own, and we connected up there.
What's the area that you're most focused on right now personally, or that the coaches have talked to you about growing in over the next couple of weeks of camp?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just, you know, focusing on developing and my execution of the offense, and you know, commanding that huddle and improving in that leadership role.
Julian, how hard is it to maintain that day-to-day focus and not try to think, am I ahead, behind, am I this, and that? How hard is it to just stay focused on the process?
I feel like it's just, you know, being where your feet are. You know, I'm excited to be out there practicing every day. You know, I get to play get to play the game I love, and you know, just be out there and be with my teammates and having fun. And you know, we watch the tape, we correct it, and just move on to the next day. But really, it's just, you know, playing the game I grew up playing and playing the game I love with my teammates.
How did you at National Championship Media Day? You said you want to improve at everything. You said you really were focused on getting stronger during the summer, spring and summer. How do you think that went? Yeah, I definitely put on a couple of pounds with Coach Mick in the weight room, and I think I've definitely gotten stronger this summer and this winter.
What are you up to now, Jude?
I'm at 210 now.
And you're what? Everybody keeps thinking you're 5'5". You're taller than
that. No, I'm 6'1".
Yeah, there you go.
You said when it comes to vocal leadership, it's about being authentic and true to who you are. So who are you as a leader? Like, are you the kind to encourage guys? Are you the kind to like ride guys? Like, what is your authentic leadership style?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's different. So, you know, there's some guys that you got to get on and you got to be very vocal with them and, you know, kind of get in them a little bit. And then there's some guys, you know, that you just lay off. They're gonna come back and make the next play. So it's different with everybody, I feel like.
Julian, you're away from football. What's something that you use to kind of get your mind away from this competition and help? Like, what are some hobbies or things that you do to not focus on that?
Yeah, when I'm in California, I love going to the beach, hanging out with friends, and you know, just you know, being with friends, being with family, and you know, spend time with them.
Lincoln, what does it mean to be named an Iron Buckeye?
It means a lot. I think it's something that I think everyone on our team should strive for, and it's something that I think is probably the biggest honor in the program, especially in the offseason. So it definitely means a lot.
Lincoln, Coach Vessler said that you're getting the ball out a little bit quicker. How did you go about improving in that area kind of over the summer, and how have you seen that show up on the practice field so far?
I think just coming in and understanding the offense more and more, I think it just helps you play faster. And you see things differently. So
that was that more of a mental thing, understanding thing than it was changing up mechanics?
I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, we talk. Coach Day tells me all the time to keep the ball up a little bit, so don't go through a big wind motion, and then just flick and follow. That's something that I've been working on. So, did you have like for one another term, a bucket list of things coming out of last year that you knew you had to get better at? If you follow my drift there, to get to where you want to go and stuff, can you delineate a couple of those things where you definitely think you've made that improvement, like your release? Yeah, I'd say probably first and foremost, get my body weight right, get to a spot where I can go out there and play, and then get stronger, get faster. That's something that I've been working towards this off season with Coach Mick in the weight room, and that's something that I've been looking into a lot. And then also, I mean, football-wise, just film study. That's something that we also did off-season as quarterbacks, just come in and watch film together and just get better. So well, yeah, how big are you now, weight-wise? Like 215. And you're what, 6'3"? 6'3". Yeah.
Yep. Lincoln, how Buckeye active goal of yours?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's something that had on my bucket list. The start of summer. I think the first week of May was something that I was looking into, and then also getting my body weight up. That was something as well. So
I don't know how often quarterbacks get that honor here. Like, what do you think that says about you and your approach to things and your work ethic, and like how people should view you as a quarterback?
I think it just shows that I put in some work in the off season. I mean, the weight room, also on the field. Just go out there and be my best, and I mean, just hopefully prove to my teammates that my leadership's there as well. So.
Coach Sayin and Coach Festival both said that the quarterback room was guys who were good for each other. How is Julian good for you, and how have you been good for him over these last 6 months?
I think we keep pushing each other. I mean, just every day in practice. There's different things that he does on film that I look at to get better, and then I feel like there's things that he looks at that I do too. So I think it's just things we can kind of use each other to get better and keep pushing each other.
Lincoln, how different do you drastic improvement from the spring to now for you? Do you feel that?
I do, yeah. I think leadership-wise, that's something. Body feels good as well, and then just going out there, being a leader for my teammates.
Similarly, how different do you feel from the Cotton Bowl game when you got thrust into that than you do now if you are starting against Texas in a couple weeks?
I mean, I feel way different. I mean, as a freshman going in there, I didn't really know a whole lot. I think the biggest thing is probably protection for me. I didn't really know really how that worked, and I mean, now that's something that I feel like I'm pretty good at, and I can go out and execute that well. And I mean, also, I've been in the offense for 3 years now, so it's something that I think just more time, more reps, and film study, it's helped me get better. So
we've heard a lot about like your athletic background in high school and different sports, the positives, but also you weren't as focused on purely playing quarterback. These couple of years where you have been purely focused on quarterback, how much has that changed your game and some of those things you just touched on?
Yeah, I mean, just being an athlete helps, first and foremost, playing basketball, baseball, football. I think that helped me kind of get to the position I'm at right now. But now being in college, it's way different. I mean, just having 3 years to kind of just focus on football and playing quarterback, I think it's helped me, put me in a good spot. So.
Looking at your athleticism, it seems like the black jersey could be restrictive for you at times. How do you kind of overcome that, be able to flash that athleticism, and show these coaches that you can do all of these things while also knowing that you're not live and having that black jersey?
I think doing a good job, if that's reading DNs, I mean, making a pull, being decisive on that. I think also extending plays at times that need to be extended. I think that's really something that a quarterback needs to do at times when a play breaks down or something's not there. So, yeah.
There's a difference between being friends with guys in the quarterback room and being friendly with them. Which were you, and how did that develop with you guys on?
I'd say we're friends, honestly. I think just the past 2 years, Julian and I have developed a good friendship and good relationship towards each other, and then obviously with Taven coming in this year as well, I think we're all good, all cool towards each other, and we all want each other to get better and be the best we can. So.
You and Julian have similar interests?
I mean, it's a little different. He's a Cali kid. I'm from South Dakota, so I mean, there's some things that we have in interest together, but then there's also a lot of things that we do on our free time. I think this summer a big thing was golf. I golfed with Julian a couple of times this summer, so I think that's something that we kind of share interest in. So.
Did you hunt out there? Were you a hunter?
I did. Yep.
I can't. Is he a hunter?
I do not think so.
Who's the better golfer?
He's all right. He's all right. Yeah.
Who's better? Yeah.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Do you think being an all-around athlete like you were in high school, though, gives you some, for one of another term, street cred with your fellow players here, too, that like you've shown in the softball games and things like that, that you are this athlete? You understand what I'm saying, Lincoln?
Yeah. I mean, I think
you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I think being an athlete kind of shows that if something were to happen and I need to go in or being the guy, I think just stuff like that, like they can rely on me just being an athlete, going and make plays. And then also, I mean, just like off-season weight room stuff as well, just being able to do different things at a high level. So,
you know, does it bother you that a lot of Ohio State fans just remember that 2 quarters and a quarter against Missouri? You know what I mean? That's what they've seen most of you and stuff. And like you said, you've gone a long way in that regard. What do you want the fans to know about you that maybe they don't understand yet?
I mean, that was almost 3 years ago. So I think just more experience. I put in time, I guess, in the off season, film study, weight room, just get myself ready for a good situation. So.
Do you even think about that
Last
game
question
anymore?
for Lincoln.
I mean, not really. I mean, it honestly was like I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it wasn't a good situation for me to kind of go in there, but I mean, I went in and tried to do my best for the team. So.